Communities. Okay, well, we talk a lot about communities of practice in education circles. What I wanted to try and do with one of the modules I lead was to try and support the students to engage in a community of practice. The students I work with are generally professionals, so teachers working in busy and full-time jobs, and I wanted to find a way to support them through the dissertation module, which is the final third of their Masters in Education. I suppose I had another aim as well, really, which was to try and escape the clutches of SIS, the Student Information System, because what I had in Blackboard, if you have a look here at my modules, on the dissertation module, I had running several instances. I mean, here's not too bad. I've only got 4 instances of the dissertation module running, but what I wanted to try and do was to get students talking to each other, and if they were enrolled on different modules in Blackboard, I couldn't do that. I felt quite ignorant when I was talking to Jim. He said, well, what about a community? Why don't you set up a community? And I had no idea what one was, but lurking up here on the tabs at the top, there is a community tab next to modules, and I think it had passed me by for far too long. So with Jim's help, I set up a community time for research for the MA dissertation students, and it looks very much like a module, really. That was one thing that astounded me, actually. I thought it was going to be this new thing that would take me ages to get to grips with. But actually what I did was copy across a lot of the content that I had on the module and develop it and restructure it a little bit. But pretty much it looks like the module. The beauty of it is all the students are enrolled on here. So I've got over 100 students on here who started the dissertation module at different times, and they may have suspended studies at different times and come back in. But they can all get on and talk to each other. So we've got a student blog where they set up some information about themselves, start to talk about their research, and can comment on other people's research as well. So you start to get a little bit of a dialogue going between students. All the general information for the module is there as well. Information about support and supervision. The other big benefit for me is that I can set up groups on here and have everybody included in the groups. So we've got study groups set up, so students are allocated to supervisors, and then those supervisors work together in a study group. So we're starting to use the blogs for that. There's not much going on here just yet. One of the difficulties, I think, is that we've started this in the 3rd year of the Masters programme, and it needs to be in the 1st year of the programme. But it's a start. The other exciting area for me is this supervisors area, and again there's not much happening here yet, but it's a starting point for me to be able to communicate with supervisors, and instead of sending out endless emails which get lost in your Outlook, you can post the information on here. So that's quite a useful feature. Apart from that, everything's pretty much as you would find it in your module. So I mean, I would say get on and have a look. If you go to your community tab, you've probably already enrolled yourself on maybe the Inspiring Teaching community, so you can have a look around there and see how straightforward it is. Other communities are the TEL community, which you might well want to have a look at, because all the resources there for Blackboard, so you can get in and have a look and remind yourself of how to do different things. And there's a community for the Pedagogic Research Forum as well. So they are really, really useful, and I feel like I've only just started to scrape the surface with this Time for Research one. But it's really easy, so I would urge you to get in there and get started.